Hey there, I'm Kate Etchison. I'm the Efficient Creative. I'm a project manager, and I help women entrepreneurs with their processes, planning, and productivity so that you can spend less time on admin and more time serving your clients, doing the things that you love to do. Today, in this tutorial, we're going to take a look at Dubsado. And specifically, we're going to look at how you can set it up so that you have a calendar on your website and new leads can come in and book a discovery call with you directly on your website without having to fill out a lead form first and then get an email on the back end. The first thing that we are going to look at is what are the very basic process steps. Then we're going to look at how does that process translate into Dubsado? What is the checklist of things that you need to have built in advance before you put anything together? And then finally, I'll give you a walkthrough as to how to set the whole thing up in Dubsado. Let's get started. Here is an overview of the very basic process. Your lead wants to come to your website and book a discovery call directly on your website. They want to receive the appointment confirmation and any appointment reminders to their email. Then you have the discovery call with them or the consultation call. And then from there, you decide if they're a good fit to work with you. And you can either send them a proposal or send them an email and direct them somewhere else if they're not a great fit to work with you. So a very simple process here, but let's look at how that translates into Dubsado. So when we take our basic process and we put it into Dubsado, it's the same process, but everything in Dubsado is built off of the scheduler. So this isn't a process in Dubsado where you need to have a workflow. You're going to have your scheduler set up for your discovery calls. And then off of the scheduler, you're going to have the lead form attached there, the confirmation emails, and any email reminders that they get of their upcoming appointment. What do you actually need to have set up in Dubsado before you put any of this together and actually put it up on your site? Here's what you need to do first. You need to have your lead form set up with all of the questions that you want to ask to ensure that they're actually a really good fit to work with you and get all of the details that you need to talk about in your discovery call with them so that you can get all your questions answered. You are going to want to make sure that the appointment confirmation emails and the appointment reminder emails are in your brand voice and say what you want them to say. You are going to need to sync Dubsado with your calendar, and you're going to need to have a place on your website where this calendar is going to live. Those are the things that you need to have set up. As I mentioned before, you can set this process up without building a workflow in Dubsado. I'm going to show you now where to find and how to make any adjustments on any of the checklist items that you need to have set up before you build the final piece here in Dubsado. So let's start with the lead form. If you want to make any changes to the lead form, and all of these pieces currently have templates in Dubsado that exist, you may want to adjust them for your own brand voice, the specific questions that you need to ask or information that you need to tell potential clients. So I'm going to show you where to do those. For the lead form, you're going to come over here on the left sidebar to templates and then forms. And then you can see the sample lead capture here. And so that's what I'm going to click on and edit. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the name because I don't want it to say sample lead capture. And I'm just going to call it inquiry form. And then anything that you need to specifically ask anybody who's about to book a call with you, you would want to add to this form. Anything that gives you the information that you need when you have your call with them, because this is what they're going to see after they select the time and date that they want to meet with you. So I won't walk you through that process, but you can see a lot of your different options here. And in another video, we can get into some of the kind of specifics of customizing your forms. So what I want to make sure to do now is to click Save For this to work, we have a couple of different emails that we need to use. They're located in templates, canned emails, and you're always going to get this pop-up window that says, "Are you sure?" Just make sure that you've saved the form, and if you're sure that you've saved, you can click OK. So this sequence that we're building is going to use an appointment confirmation email, and we're going to use an appointment reminder email. The appointment confirmation email is sent automatically. We don't have to set anything up for that, but it's located in a slightly different place than the rest of the canned emails that we see when we first get into this canned email section. So where we're going to find that is in this section here called Edit Templates. So when we click that, we can see appointment confirmed, and you can see the the template here. And you can make any changes to this template that you like. You can see that I've just added a little nice to meet you because my brand is a little casual. So I wanted to make sure that I had something that didn't look quite so formal. I added that there, and the rest of the information is all information that I want to keep. I'm just going to save and close that. Then I also want to take a look at the appointment reminder email and make sure that it looks the way that I want it to look. And that is located down here in these regular canned email templates. And I'm going to find that under Scheduler, Appointment Reminder. You can always change the title. These are the defaults that are in Dubsado. And to make it easy to know where to find them, I have left that the same. You can see that here. Now, one change that I've made here that you might also want to make is that the smart field for the client name here, I think in the template generally defaults to client full name. If you see this client name here, then in the email that actually goes out to the lead or to the client, it's going to say their first name and their last name. Now, that might work for you, but for me, that's a little bit formal. And so I always want to make sure in these templates to change that to just first name. And if there are any other changes you want to make to the template, you can do that here, and then you will save and close. The next thing we want to do is take a look at the calendar and make sure that we have our calendar synced with Dubsado so that our scheduler knows when we are available, when we're already booked, with things that may not even be Dubsado appointments. To do that, I'm going to click on Calendar on the left-hand sidebar. And then I'm going to go to Calendar Settings. Now, you can see that I've already synced mine, but I'm going to walk you through how you're going to do that. In Dubsado, you can link one account. And within that account, if you have multiple calendars that are on that account, then you can bring in multiple calendars. But keep in mind that you can only connect one account. I've connected my account already, and under the synced calendars, I wanted to select this Kate at the Efficient Creative. When that was here, I clicked Link Calendar, and then I was given an option to import, export, and I can toggle either one of these on or off. Now, what I have done is I've just linked the one calendar because this calendar has my personal appointments, it has my business appointments, and I have opted to import and export to sync both of those. So what that's going to do is if I have a personal appointment that is not an appointment that somebody has booked in Dubsado, it will still block someone from booking a time through the Dubsado scheduler. Similarly, because I have synced export, when somebody does book a call in Dubsado, it will sync out to my calendar and show there as well. So it's syncing on both sides. When you do that, you can avoid going into the Dubsado calendar to constantly change your availability based on appointments that have nothing to do with Dubsado. If you have a doctor's appointment or something and you want to block that time, you don't need to come in and change your scheduler template. You just need to have it synced and have that calendar show that time as busy. And then the final thing that we're going to do is we're going to finish building out the scheduler. We're doing that last because we have to link certain things that we've already done here to the scheduler. If we started there, that would be okay, but then we just have to come back once we edited the emails and things like that. We're just going to end there to be a little bit more streamlined. I'm going to go to templates and I'm going to click scheduler. Here are a couple of scheduler templates that are already in Dubsado. You can start fresh, add one from scratch, or you can start with a template and rename it. That's what I've done here. I think originally it was called consultation call or something like that. I have renamed it to discovery call. And from here, you're going to set up what are all of the specific parameters of your discovery call with your clients. How long is it? You can set these 15, 30, 60 minutes or any kind of custom time you want, like 45 minutes. Your rolling day window on a public schedule, this one's set for 30 days. That's automatically going to be available for 30 days in the future. And the next day, it's going to be available for the next 30 days. A fixed date range is not something that you would typically use for this option unless you have a workshop maybe, or a discovery call for a specific offer that's a seasonal offer. In that situation, maybe you would do a fixed date range for consultation calls, or you can have it available indefinitely. In this situation, somebody could come in and they could book a consultation call 6 months from now or 2 years from now. It's totally open to them. We're going to keep it as a rolling day window, and let's say 30 days are available. Now, here is where you're going to set your actual availability. Because of what I mentioned before, where you want to have your calendar synced to import and export, this allows us to keep the scheduler availability a little bit more open. We don't have to feel like we have to block everything off so tightly. But if you have specific days where those are the only days that you do discovery calls, then you can remove any days and times except for that one day. Or if there are certain days when you just don't do calls at all, you can remove those from the calendar. Let me show you how to do that. For instance, you can see I've blocked off Thursdays and Fridays, just as an example. But let's say I've decided I'm happy to take discovery calls on Friday. I'm going to add that time back in. I'm going to click on any Friday, and then I'm going to specify when I'm available. Let's say 10 a.m. to, I'm going to finish early on Fridays. Let's say 2:30. I'm going to click Add Times, and I'm going to say All Fridays. And it's automatically going to apply that to every Friday in the scheduler. Now, on Wednesdays, let's say I don't want to be available 9 to 5. I want to be available 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. I'm going to come in and I clicked X on the time that was in there. And now I'm going to put in my actual available time, and same thing here. Click Add Times. I'm going to click All Wednesdays, and it's going to update the availability for this scheduler. And again, it's only for this scheduler. It doesn't cross to other schedulers. I want it to show me as busy because I don't want to be double booked. And then in the location, I want to put in my personal Zoom room link, because when the appointment reminder emails come in and it shows the location, it's going to automatically pull in that link that they can click on and get right to my Zoom room. This email, I don't even worry about because for our purposes, we're not using this. I'm just going to ignore that. Now let's click on Advanced, and then you can see some of the other specific things that we need to set up for the scheduler. Up here at the top is where you can specify other parameters that you need for booking your calls. So for instance, we have said we want calls no less than 48 hours in advance, but maybe we know people are a little bit busy. We're going to be a little bit more available. We'll say 24. Buffer time is going to prevent anyone from booking when you already have a busy appointment in your calendar, whether that is a Dubsado appointment or something that's coming in from your Google Calendar import. It will block anything from being scheduled within whatever window you specify before and after the appointment they're trying to book. I'm going to specify a 15-minute window after. I could do a 10-minute window before and a 10-minute window after. This is how often they can book: 15-minute increments, 30-minute increments, and then how many appointments can be scheduled per day and how many times this scheduler can be used. Because this is a public scheduler, we're going to leave this blank because we want it to be used as many times as needed. The welcoming message is what they're going to see at the top of their screen when they go to book a call. We're going to change that to say, book a free discovery call. Now, under confirmation email, I don't need to select anything because it's automatically going to send the canned template that we edited under the templates in the canned emails. If you have a different email that you want sent instead of that one, then you can select that here, and those would be located down at the bottom, which is where we found the appointment reminder email template. Now, this part is very important. Additional form. This is where your lead form is going to live. This is how they're going to see your lead form and fill it out. Without this, anybody could come onto your site and book a call and you wouldn't know who they were other than their name and their email address. You wouldn't necessarily know what help they need or when they need you to be available or any other details like that. When you come in, this is going to be blank and you're going to select your lead form from the drop down. Remember, we changed our lead form name to inquiry form. We're going to have that. And after they select a time and date, it will automatically take them to this form. If you do require a deposit, if it's not a free discovery call, then you can toggle this option on. We're not going to get into those details. And then if you want them to receive reminder notifications, you will have to toggle that option on. Without it, they're not going to get a reminder notification email. They will just have to set up their own reminder. But if you want them to get that reminder email, then you can toggle that option on and you can select when you want them to receive it. To start from scratch there, let's say we want them to get a reminder 1 hour in advance. We're going to select the one that we edited, scheduler appointment reminder, from our dropdown and click add. And let's say we want them to get one the day before too. We're going to select for one at 24 hours and they can get the same one. You can also create a different version that's a 24-hour reminder and then an hour reminder and have different wording in those and have those as 2 separate canned emails under your canned emails. And then this option just allows you to have the page viewable as a monthly calendar instead of a weekly calendar. Now we're going to click Save. Then I'm going to show you how you embed this in your web page so that people can start booking with you. To embed this in your web page, I'm going to show you an example using Divi and WordPress. The layout will be a little bit different if you're using a different version of WordPress or if you're using Squarespace, but it's the same basic functions that you're going to be using. Here's my web page where I want my scheduler to live. Over here in Dubsado, I'm going to click the link icon, and then I'm going to copy this iframe code. Then over on my web page, I want to add a section where I can add code. And I'm just going to go to the code and I'm simply going to paste that whole iframe code directly into the code block. And you can see it starts to pull in the Dubsado information here. You can also see that it looks a little bit funny where you have to scroll. I'll show you a quick tip about how you can resize the frame where this information lives. If you go into your code and you see this section where you can see style, width, 1 pixel, min width, 100%, you can add a little easy line of code to tell the code block to be a different size. What you're going to do is after this second semicolon, you're going to add a space and you're going to add min hyphen height colon and another space. And you're going to tell it to be a certain height. Let's go with 800 pixels. I'm going to write 800 px and then another semicolon. And I think that's big enough. Now I'm going to click to save changes. And there is our form where somebody can come in and book a time to meet with me right on my website. Let's take a look at how this looks on the actual website. So this is what a client or a potential client would see when they come to your website and want to book a discovery call. They have any date that they can choose from that's available on your calendar, and you can see they can choose their time zone and then whatever time they prefer. Then once they click submit and next, it will automatically take them to the inquiry form that you specified here. And once they add their information, then they will be able to submit this and finish. And then you will get this information and they will get a confirmation that they have booked a call with you. If you want to test this, which I highly recommend, then what I suggest you do is under the email, use a separate personal email from your business email that's connected with Dubsado. You're going to use one email that's a client email where you'll get the emails that the client would receive. And then your regular business email will receive the emails that you're going to get as the business owner from Dubsado. That makes it a lot easier to keep the two sides of the process separate so you can evaluate what you're getting as the business owner and what the client is getting to make sure that what the client sees is going to make sense to them. That's the process. Hopefully, this is pretty straightforward and easy for you. There are all kinds of ways that you can take this basic process and customize it to whatever your specifications are, however you like your processes to go. If you are interested in knowing more about how to take the process you want and turn it into a Dubsado process like this, you can find out more about me and how I can help you do that at theefficientcreative.com. I'm a certified Dubsado specialist and I love helping people with processes. You can find me there for all kinds of information and other tutorials, and I will see you next time. Thanks.